When I was in 3rd grade, I was taught a very powerful lesson about white supremacy. This was in 1988, and I observed my teacher chase an African-American boy around the room, shove him against the wall, hold him down, and force him to eat soap. He spoke out against her, and the reason he spoke out against her was because one by one, throughout the year, she was moving every black student to one side of the room until the room was segregated into white students and black students. And one day she looked at the white students in the room and she said, "Don't you wish we could put a curtain there so we didn't have to look at them?" Now we take a minute with that. We could dismiss this whole thing and say that woman was a terrible person, she was a racist, and that was an anomaly. But instead, I would like for you to stay here with me in this uncomfortable scene for just a minute and imagine that this is actually a perfect metaphor for how our US education system is working even today. So as we stay here for a minute, I would like to share with you 4 things that I could do. And at that time, I was 8. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't even tell anyone about this until right now. But I feel like I'm being faced with this situation every day still, where I'm being put on a side. So I'd like to share with you 4 different things that I could do to respond to this situation. Number 1 is speak up. Can I hear you say speak up? Speak up. Thank you. So the first thing I could do is say something. Robin DiAngelo says in her book, White Fragility, that silence is one of the most important things that keeps white supremacy in place. So number two is move. Can I hear you say move? Move. Thank you. So that teacher was trying to teach me that I was on her side just because I looked like her. She was putting me in a place. What if I cross that line? What if I move? Because it's not really as dangerous for me to move. I have more choice in that situation. The only student who spoke up against her was physically assaulted. Now, I was not at risk for physical assault. Ta-Nehisi Coates talks about in Between the World and Me how black people's bodies are actually in physical danger. Now, what danger am I in today giving this talk? Maybe somebody doesn't like my talk. Maybe I make somebody upset. That's a risk I can take. So number 3 is challenge. Can I hear you say challenge? So challenging our institutions. Now, if all of us got together in that room, people who are teachers in this room, you know that if a whole group of students gets against you, there is no way you're going to go forward with that lesson. Am I right? So if all the students got together in that room to challenge that teacher, I don't think she would have been able to do that. And as I'm speaking, also, we could just defer all the responsibility on that teacher, but she was part of a larger system too. She started this job, I'm sure because she wanted to teach little children, and instead she ended up inflicting harm because of the system she was a part of. So how can we challenge that institution? Right now there is a lawsuit by the American Civil Liberties Union about how schools are still segregated today, demanding that we educate all students equitably. And number 4, the one that I can do right now, because now I'm the teacher in that classroom. Number 4 is imagine. Can I hear you say imagine? Imagine. Thank you. And this is the most important thing, because that teacher couldn't imagine another possibility. And as long as we are segregated in our minds of these 2 sides, thinking of what side we're on, we're never going to move forward and create a new society. So we need to give students the space to create new tools to dismantle that house and build a new one.